Oh my goodness, everybody. Even though there's nobody here because I didn't promote it at all, the purpose of this is that I want to get started on streams on Wednesday doing purely retro games. So what I'm going to do first is explain a little bit about how I'm streaming this. Some of you probably have heard of the Mister FPGA, but for those of you that haven't, the device is essentially like people probably know about emulation, which is when like an old system is emulated in pure software rather than hardware. But what this, what is it called? Some gate array, some sort of computing motherboard, essentially, that was released for educational purposes to kind of emulate the actual hardware of old computers, has been sort of retrofit to emulate the hardware of old consoles and old arcade boards and things like that. And what you get out of it essentially is like nearly hardware perfect hardware emulation. So everything runs with the exact same clocks and exact same graphics as the old consoles. So instead of me digging out my Nintendo and my Super NES or Genesis or PlayStation or something like that, they're all kind of located on this, like on an SD card, basically, like a little hard drive. So there's obviously tons of benefits with, game preservation primarily, so that these games don't disappear just because the software manufacturers don't want to support them anymore. It's like a huge conversation right now, obviously, especially with Nintendo, and everyone's kind of guilty of it, that they don't really actually support their old games as they once were. And so the primary goal of the Mister FPGA project is pure preservation of games exactly how they're played. And I can tell you from using it that it's a little bit of a miracle that way, because it's exactly the same, like no latency. You can literally hook this thing up to a CRT TV and it looks exactly the same. We're doing it through HDMI right now because it has that ability too. So the nice thing about having this kind of hardware emulation with contemporary technology is you can hook up this little device once you set it up to your HD TV or whatever, your 4K TV, and it works great. So there's lots of videos that you can find on, if you look it up, the Mister MISTER FPGA, that'll go into far more depth than I'm going to go into it today. So all we're going to do tonight is I'm going to kind of dick around and jump around inside of the Mister FPGA, kind of show you the UI, which is not super fancy or anything. It's pretty simple, but there's some kind of elegant about how simple it is to kind of go through libraries. Now, disclaimer, of course, you're supposed to own all of these original cartridges and things to play them. I will have never post in like comments or anything where you can get the actual game files, but the emulation of the hardware is totally legal. So I know Nintendo right now is trying to shut this down permanently, but this has been going on for 20, 30 years strong, meaning emulation. So there's really nothing illegal about doing this. It's the game files that are proprietary. So I have a lot of these cartridges. There's definitely some games that I have on here. They're called ROMs, which are essentially the game files. I have some of them that I never owned on here. Don't arrest me. But what's great is they take up so little room. So you literally just have libraries of these old game systems. So let's talk about the games a little bit. One of the things that I think is really interesting, I can't even remember how to start these games. They're so clunky, the UIs in all these games. I'm just going to do end. How about that? Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure, register. Okay. So speaking of what I was just going to actually kind of get to in these games is that, why preserve all these games, right? Like, why are we trying to hang on to the past like this. Well, as we kind of all are aware of, the video games as an artistic medium have come so far, and they're really showing themselves to be valid high level art forms. I mean, it takes a while, like with any medium. I mean, there were people during the invent of motion pictures and television that were constantly saying that they would never have the same ability to artistically express the human condition as well as, like live theater, for example. And so we've gone through kind of the last 20 years, 30 years, but yeah, I guess the last 30 years specifically of video games kind of being a medium that, gets dismissed, but now all of a sudden it's really coming to light how important it is to such a huge populace of people. So why are we going back to these old ones? Well, for one thing, I really do think they hold gameplay value. I mean, that's the biggest knock, is that as I was just trying to register my name, it was like super clunky and I couldn't remember how to use the start and select to move through it because it's like not super intuitive. But this game, for example, the original Zelda, and you've got a lot of young people that really were introduced to Zelda with like Breath of the Wild or something like this. But this being the original Zelda from the original Nintendo Entertainment System from 1984 or something. I should probably do some research or something. This game, I have such vivid memories of, because this is one of the first like true open world games. Meaning you can kind of go wherever you want at first, and it does not explain much to you. So the reason I chose this to start is because, ultimately with FromSoft, and especially with my other stream being Bloodborne right now, Elden Ring is so popular now, and people are really starting to understand the sort of intrigue of an open world where you have to discover the answers rather than being shown exactly what to do. So in this opening screen, you have 3 directions, right? You can move your character in 4 directions, which is very clunky for people not used to it. And if you push what were 2 buttons at the time, A and B, nothing happens, right? So you have 3 directions you can go, and this door. And so usually people go in the door because it's sort of sticks out. But if you went one of the other directions, you couldn't do anything and you would die. So they're trying to tell you where to go with this black door, but they're not explicitly saying it. So we're going to go down to the cave. Sort of a meme by this point, this famous line. It's dangerous to go alone, take this. So you get your first sword. And what we're going to do tonight, too, is I'm just going to be kind of talking about certain retro games, their significance maybe in history, sort of the nostalgia for me personally. So Zelda, I'm not going to play this like all the way through or anything. So maybe someday after I actually promote and release videos and things like that, and there's some people that actually want me to play through it, I would absolutely play through it. But this is more of a jumping around the mister. So we're going to look around. Now only one of the buttons work. I believe it's A. I've got my controller rigged up the way that I want to, so I'm not sure. And that's the one button you can use right now. And when you have full health, Link can shoot his sword, which makes the game infinitely easier than when you have to hit things from a few pixels away. But this is the game, there's kind of 2 main elements to the game, which is this overworld, which is like a true open world. You can kind of go almost anywhere. And there are sort of soft blocks for where you can and can't go. So you'll need keys and you'll have to find secrets. There's shops, as this guy's trying to sell me things, and I have 1 rupee, so I will not be able to purchase that. And again, you can kind of go anywhere. The only other section to the game are dungeons where the bosses are. And that's essentially it. Now, in terms of a narrative, that's really thin too. I mean, this is an attempt to give a sense of a world, and I think they're very successful in that. But in terms of a narrative, it was almost like they picked one or the other. There's games with more dense narratives in the early Nintendo, but they don't have this sort of expansive environment. And I think what's really impressive, see, now I lost the heart, so now I can't shoot, and it's way harder. These games also, I think are pretty difficult. Just generally, I think they're definitely more difficult than games are now. There's less buttons you have to push sort of intrinsically, but yeah, the precision required is a little bit cruel sometimes. It's been a long time since I've played it, but it's not like I'm doing great here. I don't even know where to go. So I'm going to try to get to the first dungeon at least to kind of show what that's like. I think I'm going the right way. This is back when they used to also really have a lot of paper media with games, which I really appreciate and kind of miss. So in this one, I'm going to die here. I'm definitely not going to be able to show you if I'm dead. So you would have like actual maps, and that was really exciting. So this is the first dungeon. All I have to do is not die to this guy. At least can show you. So, if you wander around the map, you'll eventually find the first dungeon you can easily access, which is this one. The I'm at a half heart sound is just terrible. A couple other things I'll mention. I really need to get a heart so none of us have to listen to that sound, or I need to die. A key does not make the sound go away. One of the things that sticks out to me about this game right away is I just think the music that they were able to compose with 8 bits is spectacular. I mean, you're talking about some of the most famous composers of all time who did multiple games like Zelda and Mario, or, their resumes for 8-bit sounds is truly remarkable, memorable earworms that people remember for decades afterwards. And this very first dungeon is so evocative for me because I remember it so vividly, because you spend hours in these games. And I think that's also really impressive with such an early game as Zelda, is that it really kind of compels you to go exploring despite it being kind of simple in a lot of ways. And it still is fun to... I don't remember where everything is, even though I, probably beat this a couple times when I was a kid. But this was definitely one of the most influential games to me, and I kind of wanted every game after this point to have an element of exploration. Now, I recognize that everybody's game tastes were and are different, so not everybody's trying to not know what to do and wander around. Oh my God, just kill me then. Just kill me then. But I really, really, I really appreciate this sort of lack of hand holding. All right. So with the Mister, this is the UI, this kind of menu. It's pretty simple. But every time you reboot, and the reason I'm kind of showing you this is that you are like completely resetting the fake hardware. And it does it through this CPU that essentially emulates the pathways of actual hardware. So instead of software that's trying to, through binary, sort of emulate hardware through software, it's actually changing the physical map that the circuitry that's going through on the card. So that's what this reboot is. That's completely starting the Mister over, and it comes back to this main screen. So if we pick another console, for instance, let's see what would be fun to kind of look at. To move on to the 16-bit era, I could go with the SNES, but I think I'm going to go with the Genesis because that's what I had growing up. And man, I just thought it was a stellar console. So right now, the Mister is actually, that's what took a second, is it actually reconfigured its PC or CPU so that it could like be a Genesis. And then you load these ROM files. And obviously this is what I mean. I have this collection of ROM files that is comprehensive. It's like everything that was ever released for the Genesis. I owned some of these games. And so it's just by name. There's no graphical interface. Fine. I'm trying to think of something that would be... game I should load is, there's this game I used to play, and I think these are going to all be so hard, it was called Sunset Riders. Let's find that one. There it is. So moving into the next era, so Nintendo was obviously very influential. You know, I played like both Zeldas, and I love that Konami symbol too. I love all the sounds. They're so intensely nostalgic, the soundtracks to these. But Nintendo, you know, you had Metroid, which is just one of my absolute favorites of all time, which was also exploration. You had Zelda, Billy Cool, and Mario, especially Mario 3 was such an amazing game. So you had a lot of great games. Final Fantasy, the original Final Fantasy was like a huge thing for me. It was the first like real JRPG that I had ever played. So Nintendo's super influential. The Genesis for me was like, you started to see what graphical improvements would do for games, because the Nintendo did so much with so little, but there were a lot of like low bit, 8-bit and lower systems and games. The Genesis started kind of feeling like the arcade was coming home a little bit. Like you could actually play arcade quality games. And the Genesis had so many great games. The RPGs like Phantasy Star is so amazing. I might boot some of those up to show as well. But then there's like great Sunset Riders is an arcade game, right? So let's try this one, see how hard these old arcade games are. Probably very hard. I mean, how can I not be quote mano? Oh, he smiles. Look at the little smirkies. Little smirks. All right, I can jump. All right, jump. This is what I love. Just jumping, shooting, and that's it. I like that he's got a shotgun. Feels like one of those games too. You have to like really keep moving. True run and gun. How do I get up here? Oh shit. Shot in mid-air. Yeah, these games are also famously difficult. Oh, look at that. Went to the casino. Well, I guess it's really a brothel is what it is. And and then I got killed by point blank dynamite, which will, you know, and then a bullet. So that was very, very quick. I'm going to try one more time just for pride's sakes. Give me that bullet. Oh, shit. Simplicity to these games are so good. Gotta avoid the running of bulls in the middle of a southwestern town, which I don't think that's a normal situation. I don't think they got that historically accurate. Everything else though is historically accurate. All the rest of it is painstakingly researched by their team, by their Japanese designers inside cubicles in Tokyo. Painstakingly researched. Man, I'm kind of killing it with my shotgun now. Now I can't go into that saloon. Whoa. Oh, more bulls. But you can ride their backs like you can normal bulls, so that's, I mean, obviously that's easy to do. Even those games are really unforgiving. I think the other thing that From Software kind of makes me think of sometimes, come on, I was saving her, is that they're challenging, but at the same time, you kind of feel like you messed up, you know, like RNG can get kind of bullshit sometimes where you just get unlucky, and that happens. There's no doubt about it. But you know, most of the time, since there's only a couple of buttons and most of the stuff that goes on is fixed. You know, if you screw up, it's just because you didn't memorize exactly what to do well enough, right? So there's something kind of refreshing about that too, where there's some, come on. The hitbox of that dynamite was not fair. Man, well, that's a bank. So what is the sex worker doing in working at the bank? I mean, I don't know what it was like back then, so maybe that's typical. I mean, I guess it isn't, but what do I know? I don't know how many continues I have. I mean, how long can I live on borrowed cowboy time? This guy gets around in a meaningful way. Oh. Heat-seeking bullets, eh? I don't like it. I don't buy it. Get up. Get up, partner. I feel like I just want to get to the first boss so we can see what arcadey boss from this era looks like. And so that's when in the arcade games, they were sort of famously built so that they could chew up quarters, right? So you'd do this one part and you'd be like, yeah, I'm really making progress here. And then there'd be this part that is just like total nonsense, bad RNG, so you're supposed to die. So you'd have to get really good to not fall victim to the part that they wanted you to die at. And I'm not sure how much they tuned these console versions. I'm pretty sure Sunset Riders was like a pretty well-known Konami actual arcade game. And this port's pretty damn good for at home and, whatever, 89 or something, whenever the Genesis came out. Oh, here we go. Here's a boss. Oh, yeah. It's time to pay, says the guy with huge purple lips. I should have probably assumed that those were going to fall on me, but now I can shoot this guy. He's probably got a shotgun. Oh man, he's dead. That's it. I've saved the town. And all of the ladies that I'm seeing in this town, which was like 7 or 8. I think those chip tunes after you kill the boss certainly don't feel period specific, but they're pretty funny. Okay. Boss damaging ratio. Oh my god, now we're on a horse. Oh, it's a bonus stage. What happened to bonus stages? I missed that free guy. Oh, you gotta look where the shadows are. I see. I need as many free guys as you can give me, lady. Hey. Oh, come on, that was bullshit. 2 guys. 2 lives. Alright. So, we're going to move on from this as much as I love it. All right, let's see. Oops. See, this menu is not the most logical, but here we go. We're going to reboot it again. Sega Genesis, love it. Let's see what else. Let's jump into a Super Nintendo game. Just to see the other side of it. I remember I had a friend that had a Super Nintendo basically before everyone else. And I think he'd die if he knew his name was on here, but I think his name was Mike Berger. He and his brother always had they had one of those coveted Midwestern basements with like a pool table and a bar, and they always had the games and systems like immediately, which I was just like insanely jealous of. I couldn't believe that they had everything so quick. So I remember watching like Super Mario World for the first time. Let's try that. That's been a million years since I played it. Street Fighter 2 came out for the Super Nintendo. That was such a big deal. People lost their fucking minds about Street Fighter 2. I was always like, where's the next Zelda? And people were like, let's punch each other in the face. One of my favorite games of all time, Super Metroid, great. Actually tried to implement a story into this one. And the pixel art is dope. The music is amazing. And the exploration is fantastic, but we're not going to play that right now because that would warrant like a whole playthrough. We're going to jump into Super Mario World because this is the game that I do remember yeah, playing at this kid's house and just being like, this is the future. This is the future. It, sure, the new the 97 Mustang, that's the future, but this is the future. You know what I mean? This is what I was obsessed with. I don't know why it's taking so long. Let's go, Mario. The overworld map, I was, they had this in Super Mario 3, but it's a nice little touch, Cuphead does it now, and I like it. Oh, it's been so long since I played a Mario game. Again, man, the pixel art in these games is just okay. Nice work. That's a good start, right? Talk about unforgiving. You can't mess up in these games. They're not. There's no dodge mechanic. You better be on point with your pixels. You better duck those. I need a mushroom to get a little buffer going here. I don't know what these dinosaurs are doing here. I don't think I really thought about this. The differences between, like starting off with a bunch of mushrooms in the first ones and then having these like dinosaurs. Oh, because this is the one where we introduce Yoshi, isn't it? So maybe this is just like a little bit of foreshadowing, a little bit of like old school, legitimate foreshadowing about the relationship between a Mario and his dinosaur. Oh, that's right. You can hold an extra item. You can hoard items. You can sit on your butt. I'm trying to remember. I know you can hold them this way. Oof. Whoa. Nope, that wasn't right. I didn't do that right at all. I will not be finding any secrets this time around since I barely can remember how to play this. But I think the other thing I'll say, because I was never like some maniac over Mario. I played pretty much all of them. Okay, you cannot shoot fireballs at bullets in this game. I think that has a logic, but this game does not think so. What? No. Boo to that. Terrible. What was I gonna say about this stupid Mario game? Yeah, man, the Marios are so innovative. They're so distinctly Nintendo, and what I mean by that is they're like cutesy and like better than they have any right to be. There's like an artistry there, despite them being like ridiculous and silly. Which it's, you have to really, really appreciate about. Can I just... Oh, right. Oh, shit. Already get a free guy. There's so many of these coins. Man, you just got to go as fast as you can. I did all right. They're a little addictive based on just their kind of intense charm. I'm trying to think of a contemporary parallel. I mean, I think I know it's a completely different genre of game, but it's almost like Pokemon for people. There's just like an intense charm to it that people got kind of obsessed with, and then they just kept making slight mechanically enhanced versions of these games over and over again, which are always pretty fun. I was never a huge fan, mostly because I just felt like video games could do a lot more, which they eventually, of course, did. But I even found that, like, yeah, you get a free guy if you kill enough people in a row. I like that. I call it a free guy. I recognize that it's like a free life. I don't know where I got that from. Is that a regional thing? Or is that just me? Saved Yoshi. He eats apples. That's the story. I guess that's my point, is that, like, it's very adorable, and it genuinely is. I like that he can eat a turtle and spit fireballs. It's got its own logic. No, only a red one can he do that with. Interesting. I guess Yoshi, getting knocked off Yoshi, ultimately... Oh, no, you don't. Getting knocked off Yoshi kind of provides you a free damage, right? Because as long as you get back on Yoshi, you're okay. And then you get a free guy if you're still on Yoshi when you find another Yoshi. I stole that gopher right out of the wall. He was just in his home with his family, and I just ate him. Had my dinosaur just eat him to death. But that's life in the Mushroom Kingdom, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. It's hard. It's a hard life for everyone but the friends of Mario. Mario's kind of like a mob boss, now that you think of it. Powerful, special abilities. His friends always come out on top. That's just a theory. But yeah, Mario kind of only half does it for me because, yeah, I don't know. Platformers. I'm trying to think of platformers I love, and I don't think there's a lot of them. Let's see what else. Maybe we'll stay with the Super Nintendo. See what else we got here. I'm not even gonna start Metroid. Oh man, I remember the Star Wars games. So they had the original trilogy Star Wars games on Super Nintendo. I don't know that they were good, but they looked good and they were licensed, and we all wanted to play Star Wars games all the time. I'm not going to go into my love for X-Wing and all of those original dogfighting X-Wing games. But I do remember this one. I got a Super Nintendo way later, so I was on the Genesis. I don't think they had rights to Lucasfilm things. Let's see how this is. Yeah, sure. You gotta start that way. If you're gonna buy the rights. Okay, 16-bit version of the John Williams theme. It sounds acceptable. Are we just gonna get the same narrative from the actual first film? It is a period of civil war. I'm just gonna fast forward because we know what happens. Okay, all right. We got the Star Destroyer chasing Carillion cruiser. Am I right about that? I'm not like a Star Wars nerd, but I just remember things that I have no business. Yeah, it's a Carillion cruiser, and that's Leia, right? No. Why is Luke down here in Tatooine? This doesn't even make any sense with the plot. Oh my goodness. He's not unlocked his ability to use a lightsaber yet. He's just using a blaster like a kid, like a child in the deserts of Tatooine. This game's annoying. No, it's alright. It's fine. It's like a run and gun. These flying enemies are out of control, though. I don't need so many of these things flying around. You know, these games, for the most part, the thing I do appreciate, again, is that they I'm not saying they control amazingly or anything. How many fucking huge ass scorpions do you have in this place? What a hellhole. What a shitty planet. Just like pterodactyls and death scorpions. And then what are these? These are some sort of alien that look like a combination of a rabbit and a xenomorph from Aliens. You don't want that? Oh my god, you guys, just fucking... Enough of you. Blaster power up. Needed it really badly. Oh my fucking god. I mean, are we gonna keep upgrading the blaster so it becomes like a shotgun, just like a completely not canon shotgun for Luke? I'm just trying to see what the end of a level even looks like. Like what bosses do you add to a narrative that everybody knows? Oh, can you slide? How do I do that? Oh, look at that. Little slide move. How slick is Luke now? Force is strong, and I'm with this. Force is strong with this one. Is that what the line is? I shouldn't quote films when I don't know what the actual dialogue is. Scorpion City. Oh my goodness. I just want to see what could be at the end of the first level, the Tatooine level, other than scorpions. It can't all be scorpions, can it? Oh, you'll die in that quicksand. I don't remember quicksand in Tatooine. Do you? I remember it in like Princess Bride. Is this just a liberal pull? Oh, Sarlacc pit monster. Oh my god. This is fucking difficult. Whatever, I'm gonna smoke this dude. Oh, where is he? Oh man, I really want to win this, you know? I really want to be the hero that people deserve. Not the loser teenager, the whiny loser teenager who doesn't want to go to the Tashi station to pick up power converters. Is that the line? See, this is what I'm talking about. Do you have to do it again? And this is why people are like, you know what, old games, I could do without them. I still think they're incredibly important for preservation. And this is why the Mister's so great. I do think they're fun for 2 seconds. I am not going to be playing all the way through the level again to fight that stupid Sarlacc. And what is the Sarlacc monster, which comes in the 3rd movie, doing in this first game, is my question. A little too liberal use of the story, I think. Let's see. Let's see what else is on here. Sim City, Secret of Mana, very good. There's a bunch of serious winners here. Very curious what the Star Trek Deep Space Nine Crossroads of Time, or Next Generation Futures Past game is like. Probably pretty bad. Should I play the? Oh man, where was that? How did I just lose it? Super Star Trek. Oh, it's just Star Trek. I was looking for Super Star Trek. All right, let's see what this can't be good. And I am a huge fan of Star Trek: The Next Generation, so you know, it's not the material that's going to make Captain's log. Okay, all right. Romulan, neutral zone. Jean-Luc Picard, you know, looking very stern with some good theatrical lighting on him. Okay. I'm going to guess this is one of those, like, I doubt it's action. I bet it's some sort of like, oh my God. Oh yeah. Look at number 1. Look at Riker just looking. Number 2. No, number 1. Right? And then there's Worf. Worf's handling computers. I mean, like defense though, right? Isn't he like security? So I just tried to go to the transporter room, and he was like, maybe we should talk to him first. So I guess that means that you're playing the role of Jean-Luc Picard trying to make decisions, and I immediately made the wrong one. All right, there's a lot of reading in this one. It's not maybe great for stream unless there's people who really, really want to see the Super Nintendo version of Star Trek The Next Generation. I probably, had I had this game, absolutely would have sunk hours into it, because I don't mind dialogue heavy games, and yeah, man, I would just relished to play the role of Jean-Luc Picard. You know, I would have felt a little out of my depth, being that he's such a great leader. But I would have tried. All right, let's reboot, see what else we have here. So I'm just playing around in the console section. You'll notice the three primary sections are arcade, computer, and console. So what the Mister can do is it can fully emulate arcade machines as well. And people are developing, and this is the part that's like completely legal currently, which is that if you can get a copy of like an actual physical arcade board from like one of the old arcade machines, and you know how to basically read a schematic of the system and look at the actual unit, and then emulate in the FPGA that sort of network of that gate array of signals, right? To physically emulate it. The arcade games are fully protected for you to have. So when you click on the arcade section, people are working on these all the time. So every time you update your Mister, there's new classic arcade games. Now, the Mister only goes up to like safely the PlayStation 1, meaning in terms of power, because obviously like you would start getting into some legal trouble if you started to emulate newer systems at this level, which is, again, like perfect, pixel perfect. But also it would take a really, really powerful system. So I'm guessing at some point there will probably be FPGA systems that are even stronger than this that might go up into PlayStation 3 or something one day, including all those game systems in between, like, you know, the N64, which this can't do, and, you know, the GameCube and stuff like that. But the fact that it can play nearly frame for frame all the way up into PlayStation really gives you this like full back catalog of, you know, every system through the 90s, which is to some people, obviously, who lived through it, it's very nostalgic, but also there's a lot of games most of us didn't play. So the reason I bring that up in regards to the arcade section is because, you know, like these cost money and not everybody had a lot of money. We all plunked coins in some of these games. Like I very much remember Bad Dudes. Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja, because of this, you know, opening sequence, which is just fucking hilarious. Rampant ninja-related crimes, you know? That's always happening in New York at this time. Just rampant ninja-related crimes. So we got to put coins in and start it off. Let's see what Bad Dudes has in order. President Ronnie has been kidnapped by the ninjas is the opening sentence. Are you a bad enough dude? And I didn't even see the rest. I gotta figure out what the punch. That's not it. Punch, kick, punch. Where's the kicking button? I'm just putting more coins in. Is it really just jump? Wait. Oh. Okay. Now we're on fire now. I do remember immediately with this game that like essentially most of the time you're just gonna kick them in the ankles, because the other attacks really put you in danger's way, especially of like why can't I fucking jump? Wait, hold on, what's this? Oh, I got it. He said, I got it. I got nunchucks now, so, you know, what ninjas will survive when you have sweet nunchucks like this? You know, I mean, what's there to say about Bad Dudes? You know, I got some health in the form of generic soda. Again, all of this is very, very accurate to the time period in New York. ninjas all over the streets, fire breathing, like Russian characters like Karnov, just like all over the place. And it takes bad dudes to clean up the streets. So if you got like a black tank top and like karate pants like Jean-Claude Van Damme, hopefully you can pick up some nunchucks along the way, then we all have a chance. I just want to say that I smoked that first boss without any problem because of my cheap tactics. Cheese or be cheese, though. I do whatever I want. Oh, jeez. Man, I'm like already on the semi. Why don't you like warn me that I've somehow ended up on a moving semi on a highway? We're going to Jersey. Where are we going? Going to Long Island. Where are we going? How you doing? I feel like it's lost the thrill of just like hitting ninjas in the head with the nunchucks over and over again. You can't hit the moving road though. Now I've lost my nunchucks, so who, you know, what am I now? Nothing. I got it. I really love that they chose to voice when he picks up items as I got it. I just appreciate knowing, you know. Did he get it? Oh yeah, I got it. Oh man, when a ninja has a sword and you've got your bare fist, that's not an even fight. Oh yeah, these ninjas have like fucking claws. I killed him too fast. You didn't even see him, but he's like a claw wielding ninja. Again, New York was so dangerous. Oh, I got it. No, I got a knife. Oh yeah, I got it. Oh man, why didn't you ever drop your giant katana? Is what I want to know. That would be definitely useful. All right, we're probably gonna stop after this. There's the sea. Look at this guy. Got a little hand. He's like a little Wolverine ninja, which I appreciate. Oh, I forgot how to jump there for a second. Data ESUSA, Dudes Trucking Company. Oh shit, look at this guy. He thinks he's, oh my god, he fucking waxed me. All right. Dip switches. Yeah, so you can literally flip if you don't know what dip switches are, they're just basically like hardware changes you can make, like free guys and stuff like that, which is pretty awesome. So you can manipulate it as though you actually had the arcade board in your house, which that a lot of people who sort of follow the Mister FPGA project are like collectors of old arcade machines and arcade boards, which I always really think is crazy because they're so expensive and they're game preservationists, basically. I collect some old consoles and some old, just like my favorite games. It's like a personal collection, not for like money or anything. But I would never get into like the, $800 arcade boards for, Alien Syndrome or whatever. But I do remember these games and they're really fun. Alien vs. Predator, pretty damn good. Altered Beast, also had a Genesis port of it that was good. Arkanoid is sort of pointless without the little, what do they call those little disc wheels? Like analog wheels. You can also get all those different kinds of controllers for the Mister too. I think most of them work, so you can actually play Arkanoid with the old like the balls that were, the big white ball that was in the console that you moved. Those analog controllers are really great for games like that. Let's see what else. There are some quality of life things I think everyone would like. There's no way to group any of these games right now except on the SD card, so you could make a full like a favorites folder for yourself or something like that. But I think they're working on maybe some more front end. There's like half the group of developers are like, this is the way I want it. I want to keep it like this. I want to keep it like an archive. And then other people want to like upgrade it so that there's like a graphical UI like there is on like a Windows machine or something like that. I don't really care. I just really feel appreciative that I have access to these things I could have never, ever afforded to play all of in the arcade. One of my favorite beat 'em ups is Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, which is great. Burger Time. Burger Time was on the Mac machine, the Mac computer or like the Apple II or whatever in my elementary school. So that's where I remember playing that. Centipede. It has, kind of a big range of time periods too. So you get some of these games from the late 70s through the 90s. Some really, really great old fighters like Street Fighter. I heard somebody's working on Street Fighter 3, like that board. My dog apparently is snoring loudly, so he was not interested in Bad Dudes. Check out the Nugget Cam. That's the Nugget Cam. He's sleeping. All right, so this is Darkstalkers. I just think this is one of those that was like competing at the time of Street Fighter. A lot of people really have a lot of affection for this one. It does look tremendous and has great pixel art and like hilarious. I don't know how fast I want it. Come on. Amazing sprite animation. So let's be this. He's a pretty famous character. Oh my god! It timed how long I had to pick my character. Don't pressure me. Man, these old pixel graphics are incredible. The old button mashers. Hey, I already figured out how to shoot shit, and that is. Oh, he's biting my. Oh, but I body slammed him. I pile drived him. Her boobs are, nearly almost out of her top though. Little fan service there for some people. I'm not saying it's not a little bit exploitative, but I am saying that she does want to be comfortable while she is fighting monsters. So I'm not going to deny her. She should be able to wear whatever she wants and not feel made to feel uncomfortable by the monsters in this game. She just did like a dragon uppercut in that outfit. I don't think so. But she also is sitting on a chair of flying bats. So maybe I've underestimated her. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm good because I'm not, but I did win the first fight. Now I'm fighting a mummy, obviously. Oh my, he ducked by. Man, this guy's terrifying. It's really kind of cheap to be able to do the kind of things you can do by just not really being corporeal, but instead being like a ghost inside of wrappings. Don't pull that shit on me. Oh, it was close, but the mummy was not going to be able to handle. Oh, I turned into a bat. What do I do about that? Did he turn me into a bat? Did I turn myself into a bat? Hard to know. I also wish I knew knew other things to do as this character. I feel like I turned myself into a bat somehow, and that's not what I want to do. I feel like she's not really strong as a bat. All right, I lost. I'm not giving up, to be clear, okay? I'm not giving up. I want to give more of a sampling is what's happening. All right, let's see what else. What else is on here in the arcade section? I haven't updated the system through the online updater in a while, so they're literally working on new boards all the time. There's these, you can support them on Patreon. I'll probably put a couple of links in the YouTube video once it's recorded. But there's, developers that work almost exclusively through Patreon. That's how they are basically being financed to work on these things. And they're taking all the famous old Konami boards and Capcom boards and all the famous boards that were sort of the base board for all these famous arcade games, and just slowly retroactively figuring out how to program the FPGA to copy those hardware systems. And so you just see new ones all the time. And they tend to be newer and newer. Not all, but usually games a little bit further down the line. So, there's a lot of games right now on here from I would say the 80s. But you even get really famous Japanese shoot 'em ups, like Dum Dum, which I'll play right now for 2 seconds to get my ass handed to me because they are very difficult, but they are beautiful. Oh no, I have to switch the let's see if I got, there we go. Oh my god, these old cave games are so good. All right, so these shoot 'em ups are desperately difficult. Take incredible amounts of reaction time, but also memorizing of where everything is. So when you don't have any knowledge of them, they're very difficult. But man, they're just beautiful. I just immediately use my special attack, which is ill-advised. So the reason this is an interesting one to kind of look at, I just think the pixel graphics on these old shoot 'em ups are incredible. Cave, Toaplan, all these amazing Japanese shoot 'em up companies, their work was so really ahead of its time. There's so many bullet hell games now. It's such a popular genre, but they were doing this for decades. And these old ones are great. They're all so fun. You have to really get your plane between the rows of bullets. And that really went better than I had any business doing there. But what I was going to say about the Mister that's so compelling with these games specifically is they rely on super low controller latency, and they've really gotten a lot better. The PlayStation 5 I've found has at least perceived latency that's really good. So the consoles and PCs have gotten so much better in that regard, especially if you hardwire your controller. But the Mister has nearly zero, and you can feel it while you're playing. I mean, it really genuinely feels like playing on the arcade. You can get an arcade stick too if you want, and if you do that, man, they really feel like you're playing the arc. Oh my god! Oh, I can't. This is so stressful. I really can't believe. Wow, look at this. Look at this. It will never be repeated again. I can't talk while I'm doing this. I did it. I didn't die. I'm a genius, and I'm going to quit my day job, which I am not currently at right now. And I'm just going to play shoot 'em ups like this. I've found my talent. This is what it's always been building to for me, is just playing Japanese shoot 'em ups. And then I'll probably get into some record controversies because they'll find out I was never actually that good, and I was cheating the whole time. That I was altering the arcade boards to fit my needs, so it looked like I was a genius, but I was actually terrible at them. So yeah, I've got a whole plan of how I'm gonna become a villain of video game record books, and it's going to be great. So you were here for the beginning of it, and by you were here, I mean no one was here, but maybe after I drive a bunch of people to my YouTube channel with the show that I'm working on, they'll be like, oh, his content is so interesting. Now I have to, motherfucker. I'm going to have to watch everything he ever did. And then they'll watch this and be like, I had no idea that he was a shmup champion. Also, in addition to a creative juggernaut. And then I'll be like, yeah, that was always my plan. You know, that was always what I literally always wanted that. And now my dream has come true. Oh, there's another boss. Can he do a second boss in Dum Dum without dying? Well, I did die already. Without dying on the boss. Is it possible? Can he do it? Is it a thing? Jesus. Watching people, motherfucker. Watching people who are like really amazing at these games. They have like all the bullet patterns. Oh my God, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I'm going to continue. I don't know. What's the continue button? Yeah, sure. Where is it? One of these has to be it. Oh no. Did I do it? Oh yeah. We're just gonna at least. Whoa. Jesus Christ. How do people. What the fuck? You know, I really love some bullet hell action in games like roguelites, like Binding of Isaac or something like this. But in these games, man, like how seriously? Like seriously, somebody's just gonna dodge that? Oh, I'm dying right and left now. This thing's on fire and just killing me. All right. We did it. We got to the next stage really poorly. I think I have a ton of bombs I could have used there and I just didn't use them. Anyways, so Dum Dum plays so smoothly because of the nearly zero latency, depending on the controller you have plugged in, which you can also get the original controllers for consoles plugged into this unit as well, which I have like a Super Nintendo controller that I can rig up to this. You need special attachments. They're not, the investment when you're investing in this thing is not that big to get original controller and the sort of connections that you have to get. They're called snacks, SNAC. I don't need to keep doing this when I'm not good enough at it. But when you attach the original controllers, I mean, there is no perceived or measurable latency difference between playing this Mister console on a CRT with original controllers and the original consoles. Which is just, I mean, you can really feel it on something like this, where if you had any latency, I would have been doing way worse than I even am now, because you would never be able to react in time. Or you'd push the button and there'd be that little lag and you get hit by one of these million bajillion bullets. Got that bomb. All right. Why don't we move on to something else I say as I keep playing, because it's so addictive. And they're beautiful. They look great. They sound great. And they're just pure video game madness. I never actually played any of these cave shmups in the arcade because where I grew up and when I grew up, most of these were only available in Japan, or they were like in, like big city arcades, maybe like imported or something. But I never even saw any of these games. So I didn't find out about them until way later. They ported some of them to later systems like the PlayStation and the Sega Saturn and things like that. I had a PlayStation and didn't have a Saturn or any of those more expensive ones. I think Dreamcast even had some ports. But man, I want all these power-ups. I'm going to get power-up greedy. but that's how I was exposed to them. I thought they were really good. There were some like Western ones that were pretty famous, like R-Type and things like that. But these Toaplan and Cave ones, sort of I would say the most famous companies for making these kind of games, I didn't see them anywhere. So this is such a treat for me to play a no latency version of these arcade classics because they're amazing. And when I booted this up, I don't know if you noticed, but the screen was sideways because you can actually, if you have a monitor that turns, you can play them in their original aspect ratio, which is like the tall arcade cabinets rather than the wide ones. So I've seen people sometimes rig up the Mister FPGA with like a monitor that can shift vertical to horizontal to play the shmups bigger. So there's a lot of options with the interface in terms of what you hook the FPGA up to. Let's see what else. I guess maybe, let's see. I've been playing for like an hour, which is funny because I play something like Bloodborne, I get lost and then 3 hours have passed. Let's see what else is on here then. This is another one of those shmups. I think this is Toaplan rather than Cave, but we'll see if I'm right. I'll just show you one more. I have to do this every time. Rotate screen. Yeah, probably. It is. I was wrong. This is another Cave one. So what's really funny about this one, I remember people talking about this one. So this is like, instead of being ships in this one, you end up being characters who have like ESP, right? Abilities or like kinetic powers. So it is a shmup. It's like a vertical shmup, but instead of being a ship, you're a person on the ground. So let's see what it's like. I don't think I've ever played this. I don't know what the story there is, but someone has been kidnapped. Oh, and you are actually flying. I used up my special immediately again, just for good measure. Yeah, so this plays exactly like a like ship shoot 'em up, but except there's just ships and other telekinetic like supervillains flying around, which is an interesting mix. Ah, goodness. This is hard right out of the gate. There's like a lot of enemies on the screen, a lot of bullets to just start this thing. You're not even that fast. Like, I need some speed, yo. Kill these guys on the ground. Another floating guy. That looks awesome. God, these games look good. Whoa. Oh my God, this is nails hard. Are you kidding me? Okay. All right. I guess it's just dead. I guess it's just moved on. I guess it didn't die, but it was like, I'm not interested in fighting you. I don't know who you are and how you're flying. I don't know how these they're shooting telekinetic hands at me. I love that. That's weird. They all share the same outfits too. They're all just like, they all went to the same tailor for telekinetic supervillains. The tailor felt like a little guilty about doing the order because you could tell they were supervillains, but it was such a big order, and the outfits were so easy to make. He was like, I gotta do it for my family, so he did. That's okay. I don't blame him. Who the fuck is this now? Did you shoot me with a super laser with no warning? How was I supposed to know you could even do that? What's this laser attack? Some bullshit. Again, this is really hard, but it's pretty cool. I mean, the controls feel amazing. It's dumb difficult, but it's pretty cool. Man, I killed that dude. That dude dead. Oh no, he's still alive now. He's got little protector drones. That's some bullshit. That guy did not need robot help. I don't even know how. This is not possible. Who's doing this? Who's winning this battle? How do you even kill those fucking things? Unacceptable. We're gonna at least continue and kill this one boss, for Christ's sake. We're at least gonna do that. I'm not gonna go out like this. You've got to be kidding me. You must be kidding me. Yeah. I mean, they're just how many hits did they take? All right, so I didn't even get close to. He's got 3 phases. Speaking of fucking FromSoft, yo, so that's a lot of phases for a shmup boss. Are you joking? I'm gonna die. I'm gonna continue. I don't even care. I'm just gonna go into. I don't understand how he is allowed to just. Oh. Jerk. There's probably like also a way to control this that I don't know. But, oh man, that's just the amount of bullets on screen are completely ridiculous. Wow. That took all of my lives. That would have taken so. Oh, look at all this story that I can't understand. What are we fighting for? We cannot even find the answer, but we keep on running because of this ability we have. Oh man, that sounds like network TV. Everyone, man, network TV plots were always present so long ago. People didn't realize it. They're also, everyone loves plots so much. Like, oh, you like this plot with these kids who are mutants and who fly in the sky and save the world. Man, they were doing that forever. There's no new stories. But this one you can fly around in like a badass and die all the time if you want. So that's a bonus. All right, let's try. Maybe we'll try one more arcade game. See if there's anything interesting. We'll go from the bottom. Zero Wing. Zero Wing's another one. Another great shmup. X-Men versus Street Fighter. Great fighter, like Street Fighter type game with the X-Men. X-Men Children of the Atom, I think, is a beat 'em up. That one's pretty good. You know, these games, I remember so vividly, a lot of these games having like big cabinets with 4 joysticks, right? And that was like the thing to do, right? You would get together with friends and you would go to the arcade and it'd all have a certain amount of cores and see if you could actually beat the arcade game with all 4 of you playing at the same time. And that was, you know, I know online games are sort of like the version of that now. Then people do it all the time. But it was really, yeah, I mean, you're doing it in person. Not a lot of people do like 4-person couch co-op because most games don't support it. And they just don't make games like that anymore. But some good memories of doing that at the arcade for sure. Let's see if I can find something that I've heard of, but I actually haven't played myself. Let's see. Truxton is another. I think that one. I keep saying I think that one's a Toaplan, but I think that one is a Toaplan shmup. Who's like the progenitor to Cave games? I think literally some people from Toaplan went over to make Cave the company. So, anyways, that's another great shmup. Like I was just playing. What we'll probably do too when I promote this for live viewership is that I'll probably just do. I think it'd be fun to do a like a request. You know, what do people want to see? Like if someone from the back was like, I want to see Super Glob. It's my favorite. What about Splatterhouse? Do they have that? Yeah, that one's probably not out yet. Silkworm. I remember that. You also wonder how some of these things play nowadays. Like I definitely remember, where is it? Shinobi. Let's try Shinobi. This is a classic. They made this for the Genesis too, I think. For some reason, you do have to, what is that question asking me? All right, let's see if this works now. Yeah, here we go. All right. So sometimes you have to, once you set up the core for, that's what they're called. The core is the name they give the emulation of the hardware. Once you set up a console core, so if you set up like the Nintendo for the buttons and everything, you don't have to set it up again for any Nintendo game you play, unless you want to set game specific button mappings and things, which is awesome because obviously you couldn't do that back in the day. For arcade boards, since they're technically all their own console, basically, sometimes you have to go in and actually reset the buttons, which is like a mild inconvenience. But, you know, what I had to do right there is I noticed none of the buttons were doing anything. So I had to set the jump and the shuriken and the magic. We'll see how it goes. This feels good. Are my shurikens like rockets now? Like what happened here? That guy looked like he was just like taking time to load his gun. Go to next stage, it says. Oh shit, what are you doing? Okay. Hey, look at that. That was... I don't trust how easy that was. Oh my god, that's just literally Spider-Man. And now he's dead, so who's the superhero now? They have so many Spider-Men. Oh, it's a one hit and you're dead kind of game. So here I thought it was really easy, but it was really just because I hadn't yet gotten hit by Spider-Man. By Spider-Men. My dog right now is snoring so loudly. Like you can't hear that, but it's kind of amazing. What is this circle flame he can shoot? All right, you get the idea of Shinobi. You get it right. You get it right. Okay. Let's see. Let's just blow through. Let's get in the middle of the stack here. Let's see what's in the middle of the stack. And again, these are all, I didn't even have to get ROM files or game files for these because these are just the games fully updated. I mean, I guess you could call for free from the updater just because people are working on the actual hardware. So I remember Akari Warriors. Sure. Right. Knights of the Round is such a great old beat 'em up. Oh man, I'm not going to play that by myself because that is a group game. But it is great. Let's see what else. Mister Viking. That's Mr. Viking to you. Let's try. I have no idea what this is. True mystery. I could have never guessed. It was a Viking themed shmup, I think. Oh, I'm into this. We gotta see if I have to. Okay, right, left, down, up. Fire one, fire two, start, start, coin. Sure. Pause. Yeah. No, let's go. All right. Give myself all the credits. Yeah. I'm trying to start. I'm trying to start. Let me start. Oh wait. There we go. Okay. I figured it out. Oh. Okay. All right. I see what we're doing here. Interesting. What are these? What is this Viking? So I thought it was a shmup. It's kind of a shmup. It's more like a run and like top down run and gun. It's kind of a shmup. What kind of creatures is this Viking fighting? I mean, this is not. And why is there Egyptian hieroglyphs on that thing? Like this is narratively very confusing. And I love it. Oh yeah, my Viking ship is just dropping money for me, which I think is really nice. What you got for me, Viking ship? Help me out. That's a boulder. I tried to collect the falling boulder, so that's on me. It's definitely on me. That's on me, yo. Okay, all right. You know, as much as this was fun as a novelty, I think we are. I think we're gonna probably pause this game and stop it and knock it the fuck off. All right, but that's what happens when you just pick a game you've never seen or heard of before. Let's see what else here. Can I page down, or do I have to do? Can you page down? No. No, you can't. Well, that's a problem too. Wonder Boy, that's good. That's good stuff. You know, why don't we go back to consoles? There might be some fun consoles I didn't think of. You know, I'll do probably a close tonight. There's two things I want to show as a little bit of a show off of the system before I close it out tonight. We'll probably keep this first one short. The Neo Geo system was like, first of all, Neo Geo was like an arcade cabinet maker, right? So they had Neo Geo only games that you could see in the arcade. But then they were the first company to bring a home console that actually did exactly what the arcade hardware did. And I don't remember the price, but it was something like a $500, $700 system in 1990 something. I didn't know anyone. Like I knew some people that had some pretty serious money. I didn't actually know anyone with a Neo Geo. I think I heard someone had it, but I never saw it. So Neo Geo is one of those systems that genuinely was unattainable by most people. So when I was growing up, the Neo Geo games, you would see them in the arcade, and those machines were always packed with people. They had a lot of great fighters, and they had the graphics were like really great for the time. People were really impressed. Beautiful pixel art. They had great artists working for their different publishers. So the Neo Geo home system, the AES, I'd never seen in the wild. And if you want one now, they're extremely rare. So Neo Geo on the Mister is such a exciting prospect because when you look at the kinds of games on the system, most of the people had never played any of them except in the arcade. And they have really great sports games, Super Baseball, 3-Count Bout. These are really great. But what they're really known for is their games like Art of Fighting. Baseball Stars is pretty famous. Blazing Star is great, another shmup. Fatal Fury is a series that is very famous. I'm trying to think of, I think this one has incredible pixel art. So I'll show off Garu Mark of the Wolves. So I never saw this game even in the arcades when I was a kid. So I, when this Mister came out, I was kind of looking through some of the, I don't know, famous games or the games that critically people were huge fans of, and this one always comes up for pixel art. And yeah, it's pretty tremendous. So let's do story mode. See how much of a story it has. And pixel art's so popular now. People trying to emulate. I don't even think they realize sometimes they're trying to emulate the pixel art animation from this period. And Neo Geo artists the animation's tremendous. So let's try this. I've got it with a CRT filter on for no good reason, just because I like the way it looks. It smooths some of the pixels a little bit, like an old CRT did. And since we're playing it via HDMI, we can't like do this on an actual CRT. So we're kind of getting the effect. And again, I'm really terrible at fighters, but look at the art of the background too, and the music is just so good. And this is very similar to like a Street Fighter or something like that. This was not like a world that I was very excited about or interested in when I was playing games, because again, I really like the exploratory like RPGs and things like that. But I'm also, I think as I get older and start looking at video games as more of an artistic medium that deserves respect, the artists from the various periods of video game history, they deserve a lot of credit for the work they did with the restrictions that they had. I like playing like an all-star wrestler character in this. He's an awesome looking design. And so Neo Geo has some like incredible pixel art across all of their games that is really worthy of, I'm like truly button mashing with absolutely no strategy here, but it is working because it's the early fights. But yeah, Neo Geo just has some across the board. So instead of me playing this more, let's look at another Neo Geo game just to get a kind of a perspective. King of Fighters is probably their most famous, as you can tell. They release one every year. Another fighter just like this. Last Blade's another one. Let's look at that. Last Blade has some pretty amazing pixel art as well. I think the other thing about the Neo Geo why I kind of missed it is because they don't have a lot of games of the Metroid, Zelda, JRPG ilk. So I think that's why it kind of passed me by. So this for me is such a just trip just to look back at like amazing art from these games. And just, being shitty as hell at button mashing. Let's see. I also think the character designs are amazing. Like, let's fight as this fisherman who's just hanging out on like a fishing basket, It feels like he shouldn't have a chance, but, I was going to say some idiom about like something in small packages, but I couldn't think of what to say. You know what they say about fishermen and their fishing baskets? He's a nimble old dude, though. I mean, you fish all day, every day, Feels like, having somebody with he's letting whole turtles huge turtles out of his basket. That sounds bad, too. But he is. That's what he's doing. Oh, he just tripped her with his fishing pole really cheaply and then let yet another turtle out of his basket like a clown car. And this is his secret, you know what I mean? I love it. But again, look at the backgrounds. Incredible. Like, I'm just so cheap with this turtle attack. I don't care. He should have an attack where he just takes a nap and then lulls you with his perceived napping. Oh, shit. I tried to trip her with my fishing pole again. Man, cheaply shot turtles at her. Okay. Look at the design of the background. I mean, look at the character animation. It's so creative and so well creative, but also really well executed. I mean, these games run smooth as butter, 60 frames a second. They're just amazing. Oh, I didn't need to leave the Neo Geo. I was going to look at maybe a couple more Neo Geo games. So as I kind of look through these Neo Geo games, it's mostly games I'm unfamiliar with too. I'm sort of curious if there's any games that are of a little bit more of like an action RPG variety, because I know Windjammers is like a really fun. They just did a remake of it that was pretty popular, but it's like it's like a version of like almost like air hockey, sort of is the like almost like an advanced Pong kind of thing. It's really fun. It's a stupid sports game, because what I'm seeing primarily in the Neo Geo catalog here is like almost all sports and fighters, basically. SNK versus Capcom, Capcom famous fighter, great. Let's try something like, I mean, I assume this is like a shmup, right? Strikers 1945. If you see 1945 in the title, it's a pretty dead giveaway that there's going to be a war going on. A little history lesson for you there. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, look at all this pixel art. Well, that's trippy to do random. What do we think? Look at this weird plane. What do you think? Let's do this weird flying pancake. So this is what everyone's seeing in the sky. It's just a flying pancake plane. Oh yeah. Just a shmup. Just the old classic shmup with a UFO looking ass fighter plane. Okay, so we can charge shot sometimes here. It's very forgiving in comparison to the cave shmup I was playing earlier. Very forgiving to start, at least. Making me feel like it's easy right now. I don't think that it's actually easy, but it's fun to play when you don't feel like you're gonna die within 5 seconds of starting a game. You know, and I would say, like, especially after playing those cave games a bit ago, you know, this is not certainly as exciting to look at. It's a little bit more conservative in a lot of ways. I mean, it's definitely not as exciting to look at. The music's not quite as, like, jamming. Is that the cool way to say it? Jamming? Man, I got right in front of that playing like an idiot. Or that huge gun. It looks, you know, but it looks pretty good. Again, the animation, the pixel art is still really good. Yeah, this is like a bullet hell light. This is like, oh, well, I said that. There's quite a bit of bullets there. Oh, all right. All right, making me eat my words a little bit there. All right, we'll just get through this boss at least. Oof. What is that weapon? That's not fair. All right. Hey, that explosion looked mighty good in pixel graphics, though. If you're watching and you want me to try anything out that you know is on one of these consoles, please let me know. Because I will do it. I will try anything. I will be bad at any game you want me to be bad at. That's what I do. Just be real mediocre at all games. That's my goal. Jeez. This ramped up like really quickly though. Oh man, what a lull at the beginning. It's lulling me asleep. It would really help if I could upgrade my weapon a little bit though. I'm just collecting gold, which doesn't really help me fight. But I gotta collect all the gold. I'm gold crazy. Wow. Okay. All right. You get the idea. That was all right. Let's see if we can find anything else. I feel like Samurai Showdown is also going to be a fighter. Feels like all of these are fighters almost. What's Savage Rain? You know it's good if it's Savage Rain. Okay. Fighting combined boomerang and karate art. Okay. You got my okay. This is unexpected. And his name is Hayate, master of Fu Ken. Now he opposed to the... That was amazing mistranslation. Look at that guy though. Listen, I love the title. Savage Rain's a dope title. I really like the enemy, the like design of the boss, the end boss. Okay. Use weapon in 3D attack. Okay. Dimensional attack. I think you're just saying like upper level or bottom level. All right, we're just going to try it. Oh, you're confusing me. Here I thought I would... Look at these character designs. Look at Chung, the old man. That is... If you saw some old dude with like cut off jean shorts and a backwards hat and like Oakley sunglasses and then like a walking staff that looks like it could kill you, you would keep your fucking distance from Chung. King Lion, he looks like a douche. Is this his name just Gordon? That's just Gordon. He's a security guard. Joker is very upsetting. Eagle, a patriot with a sword. Mesu is like a ninja. Carol is a dodgeball champion. Gozu is like Meizu's brother, but they don't get along anymore because they had like their parents died and then one of them got left the house and the other one didn't, and they're not getting along anymore. And Hayate has the huge boomerang. What I'm curious about is they did this whole tutorial about a boomerang and they're like, boomerang's the new fighting style, and then all these other characters are like, yeah, but you don't need a boomerang. He's got the cane of flames. And Nicola, I like Nicola. Okay, Discus of Death. Let's. I don't even like this character the best. So that's what we're gonna do. So this is another fighter. Oh, but it's like a fighter on 2 levels. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, I see. Oh, you can shoot their shot back at them like a parry, which is pretty ahead of its time and pretty fucking dope, I would say. I just wrecked that. I wrecked Gordon. Gordon had no chance. Listen, Gordon. Can I call you Gordon? Can I call you Gordy? You got no chance. Hey, Gordon. Oh, yeah. Come on, come up here. Oh. Man, I wasn't listening carefully enough to the directions on how you can... Gordon's got better reach than I do. Oh, shit. I can't let Gordon win. Oh, yeah. Being cheap to Gordon. That's what you get. Security guard. What do they let you? You probably have like mace and a billy club, right? Okay, all right. That was pretty fun. Savage Rain, again, great name. What about Ragnagard? Let's try it. Let's see what this is all about. One of these days, maybe I'll actually look up like what Neo Geo games to play on purpose instead of just, clicking through them. But I don't care. I want to see. Is it just another fighter with like hilarious like full motion graphics, they're not as good. What about Rage of the Dragons? What if it's just all fighters? What if it's just 52 fighting games, 3 shmups, and 5 sports games? They really, if that was what they had, they really missed the boat on having a system that expensive. Because that's like your mainstream fare. Like everybody wanted those games, but no one could afford the system. It is another fighter. The character designs are absolutely tremendous. Sometimes racist for sure, though, and probably almost always a little misogynist. But the animation is beautiful. I'm not gonna play another fighter though. All right. The other thing that I wanted to show everybody this first stream, finally, the last thing, is I wanted to show you kind of the edge of what it can do, which is the PlayStation. Is it a Sony PlayStation or just PlayStation? I was really impressed when I found out that I really got this because I still have the frame counter up there. But the original PlayStation boot up sound is like a beautiful, beautiful thing, and it literally starts up as though you need to put a disc in the disc tray. So I'm going to load a disc. What I was going to say is, the up to like the 32-bit, I guess this is, I don't even know what the bit on the PlayStation is. It's like, I think it's like 32, maybe 64. But all those 16-bit era systems, you kind of expect 32-bit systems. You expect the Mister to be able to do. It does it with flying colors. It's kind of amazing. But it being able to do original PlayStation games is such a treat because really the PlayStation, much like the N64, is that really early stage of 3D graphics, right? Where they were designed with a CRT television in mind, which is why I have the CRT filter. And, they look clunky. A lot of them control kind of hilariously, like a lot of tank controls, like on Dino Crisis and things like that. But then you've got famous games like Final Fantasy VII, the original one. Final Fantasy VIII is so good. Gran Turismo 2, the original Grand Theft Auto. From Software's earliest like RPG games, Kingsfield, Soul Reaver. I mean, we're talking about a massive catalog of just bangers, like constantly. And even some of the bad games like Nightmare Creatures, I have such an affection for because they have such a specific look, I don't know that any system really looked like the PlayStation. I'll boot up Nightmare Creatures because I think it's actually a really great example of the aesthetic of the 3D graphics of this time period, which I just think they hold up in their own way. You know what I mean? I think they do. I think they look good. I mean, they're funny, but they look good. Turn the volume of the game up a little bit. I definitely had a PlayStation. Definitely played the hell out of it. Definitely was obsessed with Final Fantasy VII and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Probably two of my favorite games of all time. They had all this full motion video, right? Like, look at Activision. You're about to be acquired by Microsoft. Remember when you were just a little company? Look at the openings. So dramatic. So exciting. We were all blown away by the graphics of the original PlayStation. We're like, that really looks like a Victorian London town. Is that real footage? We said as we looked at our 13-inch televisions. Defiling the bodies of the dead in his thirst for knowledge and power. Defiling the bodies of the dead. So this is like a Crowley. Oh, wow. So it actually is using his name. Okay. So this is like supposed to be a historical account of the cult run by Aleister Crowley.
Now he is in possession of the mythical Lost Diary of Samuel Pepys, a volume that contains the detestable rituals of the demon-worshipping Brotherhood of Hecate.
Oh my God.
Soon,
That's not good. Look at his face. I mean, if you saw that dude's face on the sidewalk, you'd be like, I can't trust this guy. He looks like a fucking demon. He's a demon face. How is this guy getting, like, the supplies he needs? Because if I saw him out there, I wouldn't sell him anything. He'd also be buying some, like, pretty sinister things, I think. Man, look at the title sequence. Yeah, hell yeah. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. That's all I wanted when I was young. I just wanted nightmare creatures, you know? It's not even a good game, but goddamn, it was exciting. I also like really macabre things, so nightmare creatures was my jam. Right up my alley. Start game, load game. Should we be Ignatius, or Nadia? I'd be Nadia. I like I think the character selection is them just looking into the gaping maw of that hole. Should I go in there? No. Should I go in there? No. Yeah, let's go in there. She's ready though. She's nimble. She's a gymnast. Also, her outfit is purely for, you know, agility. I mean, that's why she's dressed this way. Tank controls, very difficult to get a hang on right away. Oh boy, but she chops motherfuckers up though. So if you don't know what tank controls are, then you don't worry about it because they're terrible. You push forward to go forward, but to go left or right instead of twin stick, where you can use both. The original PlayStation didn't have twin sticks, so you had to like change direction, then go forward, change direction, then go forward. Clunky as hell. How do I grab this fucking thing? What are the buttons? Oh, I've got a gun. I really need to know how to jump or something, though. Okay, so this is like strafing, like a dodge. She can jump kick things. That's like a block. Oh, there's the jump. Okay. This is taking a long time to do this. Look at that, though. Got some more orbs. Don't know what they do. Got a bullet. Got some bullets. Working at a saw. The problem with this is she runs so fast when you actually start going. It's like, let's take this a little slower. So this is ironic. You know, it's Victorian, right? So like it starts giving off like mad Bloodborne vibes, actually. So unsurprising that I also liked this, even though this is a tenth of the game that Bloodborne is. Man, I don't know what to do now. Oh shit. I mean, having a werewolf come out immediately also feels super Bloodborne. Man, right out of the gate with a werewolf just like showing up. Yeah, you know, the tank controls are horrible and everything. I'm not going to lie to you. Tank controls leave something to be desired in a major... Man, why did I just open that just to... I need to start learning how to dodge here. Man, the fucking camera control sucks, though. Holy shit, man. I'm not dead yet, though, which is, you know, a pretty good sign. You start getting used to the, Oh, man, the camera, though, yo. The camera is so bad. Why am I caught on this, like, bot? This guy needs to die. How do I kill this guy permanently? Because he's just going to keep showing up. Look at all these levers you got to pull. All right. Hey, we figured out how to open the second gate. So to discuss again the sort of PlayStation 1, I think the graphics look pretty good. I mean, I know they're low res and everything like that, but again, you're talking about, I do like the I haven't been using my gun at all. That's probably ill-advised to just not use the gun that you have. There's rats everywhere, so you know it's London. Oh my god, I like remembered to do that. But yeah, the graphics I think still kind of hold up in their own way. I think they look really kind of it moves well. This one's only 30 frames. You get a little spoiled with those pixel graphics moving at 60 frames a second. They definitely were. There were PlayStation games that moved at 60, but these three-dimensional. What am I? What is it? 1975. These 3D graphics, like, this is about the frame rate they could work with. It just looks like a zombie, like. But you know, there's, I think, playing this again, so it's clunky as shit in combat, right? I mean, it really is. Like, obviously, I'm stuck on a tree, for instance, right now. But the exploration and the sort of puzzle and everything, the puzzle aspect of it's a little like an action RPG version of like a Resident Evil or something like that. I think they had something here, is my point, and I think that's the PlayStation in a nutshell. They had something in all kinds of their games. I mean, really, like, so many of their games were like predecessors to really great games that would come later. Huge influences, because so many game designers, especially nowadays, were played these systems, right? So, like, I grew up on a Nintendo, but yeah, I was a teenager during this era, so obviously there was a lot of playing of PlayStation, and I think a lot of people in their 30s to 50s right now are the ones who are designing and executing major AAA games. So you see, you know, a lot of designers that played Nightmare Creatures, you know, I mean, a lot. And even though it was hugely flawed as a game, there were ideas in here that would be repeated many times over. It's a little clunky, but, you know, even as I'm getting used to the tank controls again, they're not fun. I would prefer to have twin stick, obviously. But, you know, they're manageable, and this fucking bat shooting fire. Absolutely not, sir. Just trying to cut some dudes in half. All right. But see, you know, part of what I'm getting at too is like, I'm actually a little bit engrossed in this, because, you know, I don't remember it that well, and that's the first level of Nightmare Creatures.
And yet you go on. Prepare to die in Spitalfield.
Oh, listen to those voiceover threats. Let's go, asshole. Come on, for ya. All right, I'm not gonna play this anymore. Great example of the graphics. Great example of some of the types of games that would really become popular, like an action RPG later, that they were, you know, they were trying to do at this time, which I really respect. And then you get like such crazy games like Parappa the Rapper, which is a rhythm game, like a dance, like Dance Revolution kind of game with like a controller, which has a lot of personality. Is really fun. All the original Resident Evils, so dope on here. They're great. Rival Schools is a great fighter very much in that Neo Geo spirit of the ones we were playing earlier. Of course, the original Silent Hill, so great. Soul Blade, which is the progenitor to Soul Calibur, the Spyro games, the original Tekken games. Tekken 3 still plays well. Siphon Filter, Tenchu Stealth Assassins, which was another, if I'm not mistaken, another FromSoft game. I mean, Tokimeki Memorial is... I started finally playing it after watching Tim Rogers' sort of incredible review on Action Button. And it's... The guy who did it is Iga, who ended up doing... I'm pretty sure about this Castlevania Symphony of the Night, like they're the same person, but it's like it's like, you know, the parts in Persona 5 where it's like school time friendship, you know, sim. It's like a game that's purely that, and the pixel art's amazing. The music is amazing. It's so good. There is an English translation now. It's wonderful. I'm actually saying that and sad that I started playing Tokimeki Memorial and then we never finished it, but it's so great. I got to sit down and just play it all. All the Tomb Raiders. Here's like a really... I'll click on this one because this is really a... this is like quintessentially one of those PlayStation games, Tomba, no one knows how to say it. That is like a really weird... They let anybody design, it seemed like. Anyone who had an interest in designing would have an opportunity on the PlayStation, which is why you got all these different games. I don't know what happened there. Maybe I have to... Do I have to quit out to load a new disc? You shouldn't need to. I'll do it just in case. But much like Nightmare Creatures was sort of like an early game of an action RPG that you'd see a lot of, like there were a lot of Metroidvania-esque sort of exploratory games on the PlayStation. Maybe that's why I was so fond of it. And Tomba is like, what does it remind me of? I'm trying to think of something. It is kind of a Metroidvania. It's a little like Wonder Boy and Monster World or something like that. Tinykin. What system is Tinykin for? Is it a PlayStation game? Tell me what Tinykin is for. Oh, it's a Switch game. Yeah, these retro games are only up until like the PlayStation 1. That's what I've got booted up right now. But I'll look for it. I've not... You just want me to play Tinykin on stream, you're saying? No, I'm not just a PlayStation person. What I'm doing on Wednesdays is only retro games on this special system. So I think Tinykin... I have an Xbox, actually. I just haven't I haven't played it yet. What kind of game is it? Is it like I feel like I've heard of it before. I'm kind of curious. I'll look it up, though. Nina, I'll definitely check it out. So right now I'm going through the PlayStation 1 catalog and kind of showing off some old games, right? So Tomba, I would describe it as sort of like an action platformer with like some Metroidvania elements. Like, Wonder Boy and Monster World is a game where you have to like it's kind of a side-scrolling action platformer, but you have to unlock certain things to backtrack. So that's like the Metroidvania aspect of it. And I'll probably also do a streaming day where I do play new games, because there's all kinds of new games I want to play. On Wednesdays, I'm going to try to... Innovative 3D puzzle platformer. Interesting. Okay. Look at these. Look at these full motion video openings. This was also such a... Maybe I should turn this down. This one's a little bit loud. So, like, what is Toomba, you ask? So it's got an anime opening, which I think is very funny. And we were just blown away when the system came out because all these openings had full motion video, right? Because, like, that didn't really exist before PlayStation. And these openings were just like, oh my God, games have peaked. They're never going to get better than this. I guess the plot here is there's a pink-haired caveman who... There's pigs who are thieves. I think that's all we know, you know? It's kind of a jungle environment, but also like that's an oak tree or like a maple or something. He's got some sort of like mace on a string, like a bolo. And I mean, do we need to know anything more about it? Let's do it. Okay, I should have watched that whole thing. Look at these screens, though. They're just madness. They're utter madness, and I love every second of them. This is the weirdest thing. Oh, there's more story. You get some real narrative when you have full motion video like this. Sad little pink-haired Toomba. I'm assuming his name's Toomba. We don't even know that. Let's just say his name's Toomba. Swinging through the jungle. Living carefree. Hey, you with the pink hair, says the safari man sitting on the pig roof. Never seen you around here before. I used to live here, but it's changed so much, says the boomer, you know. Well, if you need any info, go to that small hut on top of the hill up ahead. This crazy old geezer lives up there. He should be able to help you out before you go. Be sure to check all the signs on the way. Local Visitors Bureau did a great job of supplying helpful info. He's very informative, you know? He's a really informative kind of guy. All right. What is with that pink hair anime? This really feels like just like young people and old people now. You know what I mean? What do you mean you don't want to know? It doesn't make... Like, do you think I'm a swinger because I have pink hair or something? People can do what they want, old man. So you can jump. There's a monkey now that just jumped into the tree. So you can, like, jump on the backs of these pigs to attack them? Like, what is that? It's super weird. There's all these secrets in this game too. I remember that, like, there is a way to get to this monkey up in this tree. Like, you're supposed to eventually get to this monkey up in this tree. And then he gives you something. Right now, there's just this farting plant. I don't know why. There's probably some significance to it. So obviously if you run into something instead of jump on it, a little like Mario that way. Here it comes again. Oh, did you want more information that you didn't ask for? Yeah, dude. I know you don't have a job anymore, but like you don't have to bother me with all your shit, you nosy neighbor. All right. Do you dye your hair or is it just naturally pink? All right. Only had my Nature Survivalist mail order catalog. That is, I mean, nothing's really changed, right? This like old guy thinks he knows everything because he has like a survival catalog. That sounds right to me. I feel like there's a way to go into the background, like another level. Oh my god, this whole time I had this thing that I could fucking shoot dudes with. Look at this. Oh man, there was just a path in here. See, I discovered it on stream. I figured it. What is this? Is he just gonna hop in this like go-kart? It's been a while since I played this. Well, that was just a cutscene to show me what is technically ahead. Okay. All right, so you get the idea with this. Oh, there we go. We're in the foreground. There's a bird. What happens if I break this? Oh, we got a little chickie. Oh no. How do we? Yeah, obviously we needed to acquire that little chick. Clear the fog. 500. Something windy might do the trick. Okay, all right. Oh, shit. So now I'm in the background, so there's like probably new things I can find. I really want to get this treasure chest up here. Is that any chance? Yes. Oh, needs a key. Of course it needs a key. Of course it does. There's something really satisfying about just chucking that. So there was like clearly a tornado in the mailbox, and that's interesting. It's an interesting dynamic to the game. Ah, is this how I get to the monkey? Okay. Well, there's something really satisfying though about jumping on these piggies' backs. I don't know what that says about me, but it works. All right, we're gonna do. I don't need to be continually playing Toomba right now, but I want to blow this fog away. How do I use it? No. Item. Yeah, let's use item. Let's do it. Hey. Solving problems. And look at again, we got a full motion video. Cleared the fog with the tornado that was trapped in a mailbox. Because everything in this game has a clear, definable logic. It just might not be the logic you thought. You knew a tornado might clear fog, but you didn't know tornadoes could be trapped in mailboxes, right? And that's on you for not thinking, being open enough to the possibilities. These plants are mean. Right, I'm gonna die here. Why can't I? I think these purple things make it so I can't jump as high. Damn. Hey, little chickie. Come with me. Can I just climb this wall? All right. What I was saying earlier is, yeah, sure, I could use my like weird bolo thing, but it's just so much more satisfying to jump on the pigs' backs. All right, so you get the idea. That's fun. So the Mister FPGA, lots of different systems you can look at. You can also emulate old computer systems, so you can hook up a USB mouse and keyboard and play around with the old MSX 1 and 2. You know, I know in Europe they have, you know, the Amiga and stuff was sort of like their primary consoles, right? But you even get some really interesting ones from Japan, like console computers, like the X6800. Really great games with like amazing sound that were only exclusively on computers, like old computers. So you have those. And then, you know, these are the consoles that it supports. Atari Jaguar, another console that people did not have. The Game & Watch, which are those little handheld things. All the Game Boys. Genesis, We just saw the PlayStation, Game Boy. Like I said, the Game Boys, Wonder Swan, which was another Japanese console, Sega CD, which is the attachment to the Genesis. So it's just like a playground of some of these retro games. So what we're going to be doing on Wednesdays is we're going to be digging into some for short lengths and long lengths, right, of time. We'll pick a game, maybe we'll play through the whole thing, but sometimes we'll just sample. And eventually, what I'd really like to do, for those of you interested, is to get requests so we can fire up some games and talk about them. Thanks for watching, those of you that check out the video, and I'll see you next time. We're going to try to do this every Wednesday. So if you like retro games, you want to relive some nostalgia, you want to check out some of the games that you played when you were a kid and talk about them, we're going to be doing it pretty much every Wednesday. All right. Bye, everybody.